Uh, Perek, Mishnayos, Terumos, Perek Tes, Mishnah Aleph. So Hazereya Truma. So we learned it last week or 2 weeks ago that if you take Truma and you plant it, some Ikar Adin, right? Some Ikar Adin, it's not Truma because it's a new entity. But the Rabbanan, they were masakin that when it grows, what comes out of it has I guess we call kedushas trumas. So Zareya truma shoygig. So let's say you planted the truma b'shoygig. So meaning you didn't know it was truma. Yoifach. So what you do is from the word hafach, you flip over the dirt and you destroy it. You destroy everything. Right? And the reason is because you don't want it to grow, even though you're destroying truma. But mazid, but if you did it b'mazid, then Yekayim, then you have to keep it, and it retains its truma status. Right? So even though really it's not, they're not considered truma until it grows at least a third. Right? But so therefore you have to, but even so, we're gonna assume that it's gonna eventually grow. And then if you would destroy it, it would look like you're destroying truma. But if you did it by mistake, it doesn't look like you're destroying truma. Meaning, if everybody knows, I don't know who the everybody is, but everybody knows that you planted truma purposely, and then you go and destroy it, so that's very bad. But if somebody did it by mistake, so I guess nobody was aware that it was truma. But once they grew a third, bein shoygig, bein mazid, yekayim, whether it's b'shoygig, whether it was mazid, then you keep it and you don't destroy it. Ubepishton, and by flax, meaning flax that's truma, mazid yoifech. If it's done on purpose, then you have to turn it over. So flax has a different din, and the Rav says even if it grew a third, right? And the reason is because you don't want it to, you don't want to benefit from that, right? Right, and then the Rav also says that the reason why Pishton is different is because the Ikar Pishton is because of the Kismin. It's not for planting. Most of the time, when you plant, I mean, I don't know exactly what that means either, because you have to somehow get new Pishton somewhere somehow. But that's what he's saying. So again, the Mishnah is saying that if somebody planted truma, he did it b'shoygig, he can destroy it. If he did it b'mezid, he can't destroy it because it looks bad on the truma. If once it grew a third, then whether it's shoygig or mezid, you have to keep it and pishton. But if it was done b'mezid, you flip it over. That's Mishnah Aleph. Mishnah Beis v'chayevas beleket u'v'shikol b'pei. So we know that truma, what you take truma off of, is normally not chayev and leket shikol peya. Those are matnas aniyim, right? But here, what grew does have to. Why? Because it's the Rabbanon. So since it's only the Rabbanon, meaning these new growths that were grown from seeds of Truma are not really Truma. The Rabbanon's the one made it Truma. So the Rabbanon don't have the Koyach, or didn't want to have the Koyach to destroy, to say that these crops are pot from Leket, Shikha, and Peah. Right, so therefore, you get both. They're truma and they're chayv like a chilupei. Ani Yisrael, ani Kaihanim malaktim, and aniyim of Yisraelim and Kaihanim are allowed to be malakited. Okay, but if it's truma, what are ani Yisrael going to do with it? Ani Yisrael meichrim es shalahem l'Kaihanim v'demei truma. The Yisraelim could sell it to the Kaihanim for demei truma, which it's obviously going to sell for a lot less than Chulin sells because there's a lot less demand. Hadamim shalem, but they're allowed to keep the money. Now the reason for all this is because since it's the Rabbanon. So like with every other case in the Rabbanon enable you. The Rabbanon can enable whatever they want because this whole din is coming from them. Tarfon disagrees. He says only aniyim from kaihanim are allowed to do the leket shikon pei Hashem yishkachu v'yitnu l'soich piyam. And the reason is because if you let Yisraelim do it, they may forget that they're in a field of truma. And they're used to going into fields and just eating, and they would mistakenly put the food into their mouth. So therefore, Tarfon holds, don't let Aniya Yisrael in there. So Rabbi Kiva says, if that's the case, then you should, even by Kaihanim, you should only let poor Kaihanim in there. Because if the Tomei Kain in there, you might end up eating it. Right? So therefore, you shouldn't allow that either. And since we do allow that, so then we're going to allow Aniyim too, meaning saying that it's not a chashash, that they're going to eat it. Yeah. So this Mishnah says that even though normally Truma is potter from leket shikon peah, here, since it's the Rabbanan, it is chayiv, we have machlokes tanoim, whether we allow Aniyim of Yisraelim to eat there or not. And why would you say that if we do allow them, they're not allowed to eat it, so they can sell it. And the shaila is also, are we concerned that they may eat from it? Fine, Mishnah Gimel, v'chayeves b'maisros u'b'maiser ani, and you also chayev to give maiser and maiser ani, v'ani Yisrael v'ani Kahanim noitlin, and the ani Yisrael and the ani Kahanim both can take it. Like we said in the previous Mishnah, v'ani Yisrael ma'achim hashalem l'kahanim b'demei truma, and the ani Yisrael could sell their portion to the Kahanim for demei truma, v'adam shalem, and they get to keep the money. Hachayvet meshubach. If somebody who knocks out all this, chayvet literally means to beat or to hit. If you knock out the seeds, then without having animals come, meaning normally you do the threshing with animals, walking around with them, whatever the machines were on the back of the animals. The problem is that there was a chashash that the animals are going to eat and you have to let them eat it, right? So the problem is that you shouldn't be giving your animals truma. So how do you do this? So it's saying it's better if somebody who beats it with a stick or whatever it is, and threshes it that way is better than doing it with animals. What are you saying?
Who's giving the truma? The kohen could give his animals truma.
No, but I think it's considered in the land like that. It's considered a bizayin. No, isn't that what we say? Is that what we say?
I don't know. I never understood the fact you give it to your donkey. I didn't.
What Terumos?
Yeah. It's one of my never mind.
Unless
isn't it only chayav in truma when it's gemar malacha? So it's already been gemar malacha at this point, or it's not in the base of groinus yet?
No, we're talking. It's a mistake. I made a mistake. We're talking about the Yisrael's animals. Rabban, we're talking about the Yisrael's animals.
Yeah, so
a Yisrael's animal can't eat.
But if it's truma already, why not?
No, the Kohen's animal could eat it, not the Yisrael's animal.
The Yisrael's, I'm sorry, right.
That's what. Yeah, I was thinking it was the Kohen animal. No, but it's pashut. It's the Yisrael's animal. Otherwise you have a good kasha. Elamai, you good kasha is a good kasha, right? So they're saying it's meshubach. Okay, so then va'adosh ketzad yasa. So, but let's say somebody wants to use an animal. How are you going to do it? Because what's the problem? You're not allowed to muzzle. So what are you going to do? So what you do is kfifas b'tzavari behema. You hang a basket on the neck of the animal. And you put in the basket the same min that he's threshing. right? If it would be barley, it's barley. If it's wheat, it's wheat. So when the animal has a taiva to eat what it is that he's threshing, he'll just stick his head into the basket, and that's for sure not truma. Nimtza loy zaymim es a behema. Therefore, he's not muzzling the animal, but like Michael is a truma, and he's not feeding the animal truma. So we have everybody's happy. Right, that's the simple way to do it. Put the basket around its neck and let him eat that way. Okay, let's see.
That'll be a good seller, just like the Salzwasser for the Seder and the chametz bread.
I hear that. Yeah. Okay. So Shari Tshuva.
Tell the farmer, don't put yourself in a makom sakana chas v'shalom. Get our prepackaged truma substitutes.
Yeah. Okay. So Shari Tshuva. Shar Gimel Ois Mem Zayin. This next one I'm a little confused with what it means. But for Asur La'adam Sheyoymar, it's also for a person to say, Kain Yoshieu Hashem Kasher Hadover Hazeh Devar Emes. Right? If this thing is true, Hashem should save me. Binehu Kosov, and it's a lie. Right? Meaning he says, if this thing is true, Hashem should save me. And really, this thing is not true. So then what did he do? He cursed himself with the name of Hashem. Because from the word from yes, we can infer or imply love. Right? Because basically he said Hashem should save me if this thing is true. And if it's not true, right? If it's not true, then Hashem is not going to save him. So he just cursed himself with Hashem's name. Right? Okay, I don't think people do that too often. Okay, Memches, Yayin v'Shecher al Tesht. Yayin and Shecher, you shouldn't drink. Now we're going back to what you know, little averas that you can do with your mouth, and it's lav she'ein by ma'isa. So therefore, it's a lav she'ein by ma'isa, and therefore you're potter from malchus, but it's still a iser. The yayin v'Shecher al Tesht. Just don't matter nazir. Right, it says Yaim Shecher al Tesht lahavdu ben kodesh ben chol lahoyros es bnei Yisrael. Right? No, I'm sorry, this is not Nazir. This is something else. This is stam. You're not allowed to drink wine when you're trying to be mavdil between what's kodesh and what's chol. Right? V'chulu. And then this is a lahoyros es bnei Yisrael. So Amru Zecharnam lebracha. If somebody drinks a revius wine that's not diluted with water, al yoira, he's not allowed to paskin. And if he drank more than a revius, afal pisha mazga, then even though he diluted it, al yoira, he also can't paskin. Meaning, the point is that if you drink exactly revius, and it's not diluted, so you can't paskin. And if you drink more than a revius, then even though it was diluted, you're not allowed to paskin. So I don't know exactly if it's a slight amount more than a revius or not. So the point is,
bring back Raviyamia from the Gemara.
What?
Bring back Raviyamia.
Why?
His little measurements.
Oh, I mean,
if it's 3 drops more than a revius.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I would be reviewing me or not. But so whatever it is, the point that the Shara Tshuva is saying that's another isser, and it's a love to paskin shilas when is it a lav? Well, it doesn't. No, it's not really a lav. Oh, so yeah, al tasht. It is a lav. I don't know if the chinuch counts this or not. Did we have this in the chinuch? I think we did. I think the chinuch counts it as a lav. I'm not sure either. The point is that you're not allowed to paskin when you are drunk, even though that is a lav shein b'maisa. It's still a lav. Yeah. Okay.